In this segment of the course, we're going to learn about creating HTML tables. Now, HTML tables used to be used a lot for design and layout of a page. We don't do that anymore because of CSS, Cascading Style Sheets. Now when we lay out a page, we do the layout in CSS, and we only use tables for tabular information. You can think of anything that might be a table that you would see in a book or a magazine, maybe a table of contents or a restaurant menu. Those are all tables, grids of columns and rows. So creating them in HTML is actually not very hard. I've already set up a tables.html document with our basic document structure, and right here in the body, I'm going to start with the table tag. I like to open tags and close tags at the same time, so this way I don't forget later. And the table is broken up into a series of table rows. Each row of the table is represented by the tr command, and then each cell in the table is represented either by th, table heading cells tags, or td, table data tags. So we'll start the first row with table heading tags. So the first heading for the first column is going to be player name, then th, player position, close the th tag, one more th tag, and we'll do batting average. Alright, so that's the first row, and if we were to look at just how this row appears, it would look like this. Now, it doesn't look like we did very much, and the default style sheet actually takes th tag content and bolds it, but we actually have set up 3 columns here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the borders by setting border equals 1 here in the table tag. Now, the borders are really ugly, and generally you'll never use them, but I like to use them here so you can see them, and if you do want the borders, you'd probably turn them on using CSS, Cascading Style Sheets. But I'm going to turn them on now just so you can see how the table is formed. Alright, so now the next row is going to again be surrounded by table row tags, opening and closing, and then we'll have table data cells. So let's say Todd Smith, close the table data cell, and let's say he is a pitcher, and we usually don't care about the batting average for pitchers, but let's give him a low 125 batting average. If you're not a baseball fan, that's pretty bad. So there we've got Todd Smith added. Let's add just a couple of more rows so we get the idea. So second table row, close it when I open it. And here I'm going to set Fred Thomas, and Fred will be the catcher, and let's say Fred's batting average is 300. That's a good batting average. There are generally 9 or 10 people on a baseball team, depending on whether or not your pitcher bats. I'm not going to make you suffer through me doing 9 or 10 rows of this. Jamal Williams, he plays left field. So very easy. Now, I mean, more tables with more rows or more columns, the structure can get a little bit complex and somewhat confusing, but as long as you stay organized with your code, you should do okay. So there's our table. We haven't done much with the design yet. We'll do that with CSS coming up in the next video. But there's the basic HTML. Now, let's say we have a cell that needs to span 2 rows. This left field right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the row span to 2. Now I'm going to add one more row here before I save that so you can see what this does. So let's say we have a guy named Tommy Thomas. Now, since the above left field row is going to span both rows, kind of apply to both, I'm just going to put his batting average in here. We'll put it 256. Now, you may think this is going to be uneven, but watch what happens. So what this row span does is it allows this particular field to span 2 rows. There's also a column span if we wanted to span 2 columns. So let's say we weren't putting our pitcher's batting averages in, because generally that's an irrelevant statistic for a pitcher. If I put up here, col span equals 2, then this now spans 2 columns. And you don't have to put another table data cell in this row. You just need the 2 because this pitcher cell right here, which is right here in the HTML, spans 2 columns. So that's the basics of HTML for tables. There is one more thing I want to show you when it comes to HTML and tables. And that one thing is the caption tag. Either at the beginning or end of my table, I can use the caption tag to put in a caption for the table. So let's say this is the Westport Little League All-Stars. So once I add the caption, it's just added here to the table itself. There's no particular styling to it unless, of course, I add style to the caption with CSS. So the caption can also appear, if I wanted it to, below all the rows. So I'm going to cut, and let's put it down here. Now it has to be inside the table element, but you don't generally want to put it inside any of the rows. Now notice it still appears down here, but with up here at the top. But with CSS, I can make it appear towards the bottom of the actual table.